You function at a high level almost effortlessly. You get the praise, you get the accolades, but privately, you know there's more. There's something God put in you that you keep pushing to the back. You call it a business, but you've been treating it like your side chick. It's time to stop stalling and start building without sacrificing the life that you love or the stability of your job. Hi, I'm Jateya Jones, and this is the Confident and Courageous Clarity Podcast, where corporate creatives learn to do both, be the blueprint, and finally bring that God idea to life. Let's jump into today's episode. Welcome to another edition of the Confident and Courageous Clarity Podcast with me, Jateya Jones, and today,
Sean Posey.
And so to start off, I guess I'll say this is a continuation of a conversation that we were having when we went to the Stacey Abrams Real Talk at the National Women in Arts Museum. I think I got that right. Okay. And so Sean was asking me some amazing questions. You were like, who's your person? And she was helping me problem solve. So Sean is a beast, as I like to call all of my friends. She's a pit bull in a skirt. And so I was like, her MBA is coming out right now. Because you were asking me all the great questions, like who's your client? Who's your ideal avatar? Like, what are their problems? And then she says to me, this should be a podcast. Hence,
here we are
today. Yeah. So you guys are used to me doing all the talking. This is the host for today, so I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. So let's first just dive in and talk about Jateya Jones Consulting. So tell us about Jateya Jones Consulting. What do you offer, and like who is your ideal client?
In the iterations of Jateya Jones Consulting, and I guess I'll give more backstory just because I feel like it might be helpful. Originally, guys, Sean and I, even though we're both from Georgia, we met virtually in a purpose business program.
Yeah.
And that I was coaching in, and she was a participant. And so before I was coaching in the program, I was a participant, but I was not a participant for long. And so I entered the program because I was trying to get help with my current business. Then I was a natural networker, and I was helping introverts and students network. And I was like, I need help, but everything on her page was talking about purpose. And I was like, I know this is my purpose. It keeps nagging at me. I'm really good at it. And so that's before I knew my own common thread, because networking was just, as I say, if you're new to the podcast, your purpose is one thing. Everybody's trying to figure out which passion is their purpose, but your passion is how you execute your purpose. And so networking was one of the ways that I executed my purpose. And now you guys know me for clarity. And so clarity was the core of helping them network better, which is now come to be the plan to win method, is what I was teaching them to help them network better, especially my introverts, because it was like you really needed to know who I need, what I need, and more importantly, why I need it, which is what WIN stands for, so that you can tell your extroverted friends and they can just bring it back to you. And you didn't have to do the tap dance at networking events. You could just have the important conversations. And so there's been so many iterations. So I say that to say I started that business as a natural networker. I entered this program, and I'm whispering in Cube land because I was like, I refuse. First of all, I had to pray about the price tag.
Oh, yes. I remember that. You and I both.
I had to pray about it.
Yes.
And so it was still eating at me that this is the thing to do. It was my tax refund. I spent my tax refund on this program. And so I was like, I'm showing up. I'm doing all the things.
And that Friday call was everything, every week.
Every week. It became Friday.
Yes.
And so I would be with my headphones that are the little ear connected, and I'll be whispering to ask my questions. And so the coach was like, networking isn't your thing. Your thing is clarity. And how about you come be my clarity coach? And I was like, sis, that is not what I'm here for. I came here to make this pop, right? Because as my multi-passionate know, a lot of us jump from thing to thing because the thing doesn't pop fast enough. and we're looking forward to save us, so to speak, because we wanted to be financially stable so we can get paid to do the thing we love. And she was like, no, no, no. How about I coach you? In exchange, you coach my people. I said, bet. She sent me over that contract. Did I ever tell you this? She sent me over the contract, friend. I'm reading through, using my finger so I don't miss a thing. And I got to the part where it said $5,000 an hour. I said, wait a minute, what? This is what people get paid out here to coach?
Right.
I digress. So anyway, she coaches me. I become her coach, her first coach in that program. And then I started coaching in all her programs. Needless to say, when I started coaching in the other programs, that's when I started to get paid.
Okay.
I needed to have a business to get paid.
Right.
So I was like, I can't be the natural networker anymore and get paid for doing clarity coaching. So I changed the name of the business for the Secretary of State to Jateya Jones Consulting, because I was like, that's easy. It's whatever. I ain't getting no what's the advice? Because most people would tell you now, if you're gonna name your business, don't name it your name unless you're trying to keep it forever.
Right.
And so I did that so that I could start getting paid. And so that was that iteration. And then I kept telling people, like, it's more than clarity, like it's something else. And so to answer the question of today, Jateya Jones Consulting is basically a strategic advisory partner to corporations and individual small businesses. And we help you connect the dots between your calling and your corporate, basically, because most of my people are corporate creatives, and they're either trying to take what they do at work specifically and make money outside, or they're trying to take all of them, their corporate structure, the skill sets that they do at work, with this God-given vision, a download, something that landed on their heart, a dream she had. Like, that's what I hear mostly. What do you call yours?
I feel like most of the time it's like secrets that God passed
to me. Okay.
Yeah, like it's a little
secret at work
between me and him that he said, this is something you should do. Here's an idea.
Okay.
And then it just, from the small idea, it turns into bigger things. I can build on it, and I'm able to pull or connect the other things that I got before that we may have talked about. And they all kind of build on top of each other. So the experiences, or the life experiences, or the jobs, or the people, or the things that I've done over my life, anytime there's something new that he and I talk about that he gives me, it's kind of like a building block. It's like everything else prepared me for this next thing. So
yeah, okay. I love that. I love that you call it secrets between y'all, because I always am like, there are pieces to the puzzle, and eventually we connect them all. So like, I had the nonprofit, or have the nonprofit for teens, and I started to see the connection was that's the younger person of the person that I coach these days, and trying to help them not have to do the status quo, put on the face, climb the corporate ladder. If they already got the God vision, give them more structure to be able to come out the box saying, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm called to do. And that is their career path, instead of climbing this corporate ladder just to zigzag back around to get back up where they knew they should have started in the first place. Because a lot of the people that I talk to, who the passion fuels them more, they do this and then back and forth just to get back to the same place. And a lot of us feel like we wish it was easy, that we said we wanted to be a doctor out the womb and we knew the path to go, because there is a path, but isn't a path that's already carved out for visionaries, because it is part of your journey. So like with y'all hear about hers later, because when she get it up and popping, we're gonna bring her back. But yours has a lot to do with your career path.
Yeah, it does.
And so you've seen those things, and so it laid it on your heart. This is a problem that I can solve.
But then, and then it's always been something that I've always wanted to do from high school. Maybe not so much of what I have sculpted it into and made it into, but it's always been in that area. Like, so I always wanted to have like my own business built around that, but your family guides you
Yeah.
into doing other things. And so, but I've always had a passion for doing things in the area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all saw me some months ago. This was homecoming, so plenty of months ago when I had my braids, she did them. Just to give y'all a hint. So we'll be back. So yeah, currently, and let me also add this in too. The hardest part for me, because I am a corporate girly at heart, because back in the day when I was playing with dolls, I was a business person. I had a briefcase.
Okay.
Like it's always been, even I was in a pageant in high school, and they were like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" type of thing. And I was like a bit international business correspondent.
Okay.
Didn't remember that until, I got my stuff out my mama's garage. And I was like, this is pretty much what I'm doing now. Like I've coached people globally at this point. I think I'm on 5 of the 7 continents the last time I checked. And so I'm doing what I said I wanted to do as a kid, but lost sight of that because, like you said, the parents guide you, right? I started off targeting multi-passionates. And then I started to get the multi-passionates that had no structure. They were allergic to structure.
So before we dive into that,
okay,
let's define and explain in
where
more
we are
detail,
now.
like what is an actual multi-passionate?
Oh, okay.
To provide some clarity around it. Make sure.
I made my own definition. So basically, we are social impacts at heart. So a lot of us, our passions are surrounded around the greater good. We want to, whatever we do, to help make the world a better place at its core. But we love so many things. We're great at so many things naturally. We're high achievers. Normally, our bare minimum is like everybody else 150%. And so a lot of times we dim our lights to not make other people feel inferior. For me, I acclimated at work because I was turning my stuff in like this, and then I had nothing to do, and they were like, "Well, Jatia's not working." I finished my work, right? And then, I was telling y'all earlier, I token her do better Betty because I'm like, "Oh, let's fix this. This can make things more efficient. We can do, things easier and better." And they're like, "Why are you doing all that? Why are you doing too much?" We are definitely known for doing too much, whether it's how we dress. Y'all see her time? Anyway, we are known for doing the most when that is not the most for us.
Right.
And so I call us the chosen ones. But we love to do a lot of things. We're great at doing a lot of things. We're passionate at doing a lot of things. In the industry, they call us multi-hyphenates, right? Okay. So the best example I can give is they just did a post on Instagram with Issa Rae. And they were like, she had to start with Awkward Black Girl to move to Insecure to now she has her champagne and now she has her. And so because she's now set the financial foundation, she's expanding out into her other passions. And so that's a multi-passionate. Like we are naturally creative, visionaries. We are either going to expand an industry and make it better or create a new lane altogether.
Love it.
So yeah, we started with multi-passionates, and then I had the ones I didn't really want to work with because they didn't really want to pay. They were happy with finding a label for what they were, and they didn't want to use it as a superpower. And so then we went into the lane of employeepreneurs, which we still are, because a lot of us have the 9 to 5 and the 5 to 9, which most time is like 9 to 2. And so we're the ones that still want the lifestyle because we do the most and we like to do the most, but we also have the calling. And so we're employeepreneurs, and we're smart enough most times not to be an entrepreneur because we're giving all of that skill and talent to grow somebody else's thing. When we're builders, we want to have our own baby, right? We want to birth it, we want the legacy of it. And because like you said, it's a whisper between you and God. So you've been told like, this is the thing. and it is connected to so many other pieces of you that it is more than just getting out this itch to create something, which a lot of entrepreneurs are good with doing that at their jobs because they just got an itch to create. We are creatives and creators, right? So we want to birth the thing, so to speak. And so I still label us as employeepreneurs, but now I'm lumping us all in together as corporate creatives because I've now learned that the corporate girlies and some smart men are my people because you know structure, you know scale and grow, you know the global impact or a grander impact. It's not just a hobby because a lot of my old businesses have been very expensive hobby, but it has a mission behind it.
So, what types of things do you work with your ideal client on?
Ooh, do I tell the inside things that they don't know about to the end, or do I tell the things that they come to me to work with them on?
Let's start with the things that they come to you to work with them on. And then, so if someone comes to you to work with you on something, how do you know whether or not, like, do you meet with them, have kind of a one-on-one consulting to make sure that it's a good fit for both of you?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you taking people in even if they may not be your ideal client? How does that work?
Been there, done that.
Okay.
All money ain't good money is what they say, and it's so true because you end up spending more time, effort, and headache, and the money's gone, and you still working with these people that you really don't want to work with.
Yes,
So
that is true.
work with only those. And I know we be like, oh, I need the money, Jesus, but the money be gone, and they still be there. So to answer the question, yes, we'll have a consultation because as a multi-passionate, I hate being put in a box. I've been put in a box my whole life, and this is my time to step outside of the box. This is my time to bring all of me, not have to wear a mask, not be looked at like I have two heads. So, and it's not, and I've dealt with programs and service providers who don't get it and they try to copy and paste something that worked for somebody else to me and it didn't work for me. Because I guess one thing I didn't say about multi-passionates is that we are the blueprint. We are creating a new thing. There are some pieces you can pull from other places because building my method, I nerded out. I created a hypothesis. I had my scientific method, my different approaches, and I brought in a lot of my public health background to do that. I brought in some social work methodologies to create my thing because I wanted my method or my framework to give you space and grace to build your thing, not tell you what to do, but give you the structure needed in order for you to bring something to life that is sustainable and allows you to do it all, have more ands, less ors, in the words of Bree Carroll, without burnout. We have to talk about it. I need you to come to me and talk to me and tell me what this thing is. And a lot of times I'll have people and they'll say, it's this, this, and this. They'll give me max 3 things. And I was like, that's it? And they was like, no, but, and I'm like, no, tell me everything. Because like you said, you can now see what I call like the divine timeline and how it all connects.
Yeah.
And so for us not to have to hustle hard or work backwards, we need to start with the end picture, the thing that sounds absolutely insane and reverse engineer from there. So I need to hear it all because if y'all knew the end vision goal, y'all would think I was insane. I mean, I might be a little bit, but still, there's a level of Delulu that I understand, and I am here to water it and nurture it. And one of my gifts is to see the common thread or synergy among all of your different things that really don't sound like they go together.
Right.
Once we talk through that, and then I'll tell you what I hear, I'll tell you what I see, because if I had a superhero power, my eyes would be a projector so you can see what I see. Because normally I take the vision and I like escalate it like 20 levels. Then we talk through whether or not you think I'm a good fit, and I can decide whether or not you're a good fit. Because I also love to work with any denomination, but you got to believe in a higher power to be able to believe that you can create something that doesn't exist. And so that is a foundational piece for me that we have to have in common. You have to have faith. You have to believe in love and kindness and authenticity and truth and honor. Like we have to have the same core values, because otherwise I end up working with people that get on my last nerves. And you have to want it to go from a level of chaos, right? Because things are all over the place.
Right.
I always describe it as like it's a tornado. I see things flying and I'm like trying to grab it and talk to you and let it all fall after the tornado and let's put it back together, right? But you got to want to put it back together and not just stay in the chaos. Because I've worked with some of those people. And some of those people are some 6 and 7 figure businesses, but they like the chaos.
So once you guys have made the decision that it's a good fit, what does working with you look like?
So what I try to push people to, I try to meet people where they are, but it is the intensive. It's the Plan to Win intensive. And we spend a whole day together, like literally getting it all out of your head and connecting the dots and creating you a plan to get this thing to a thing. Then from there, we literally create you 3 things a day, 3 things you must do every single day to get to this thing by a said timeline, whatever your goal is. And that's the Plan to Win Clarity Planner. You got 3 must-dos, 3 should-dos for your personal and your professional. There are no time slots in there because I'm a night owl. And if you're an employeepreneur, you need to be able to do it when you can do it. I was doing it on my lunch break. I was doing it in the car, like doing voice notes to myself. So whatever those 3 things are, you just need to know you need to get those things done to stay on track. And if you get a cold or get sick or life, you know where to pick up and start from instead of trying to figure it all out all over again.
Right.
But then that leads us into the Clarity Lab, right? Whenever I say that, I always think about amigos in the kitchen. So anyway, but back to being a nerd, like I had to test and I had to tweak because I was a perfectionist, and I had to learn that to perfect is an action. And so I have to do something and get results and then do it again to make it perfect. Where before I was trying to just do it and then put it out perfect. And then I would find out that it really didn't work. Not for like the people who really needed it in real life, like outside of theory, right?
Yeah.
And so the Clarity Lab is there to help you, one, maintain momentum and maintain clarity, because whether you think you're testing and tweaking or not, when you put it out in the real world and you see what customers and clients need, you're going to have to call an audible sometimes. When life changes, let's say you get married and you have a little less time because you now need to put time with your spouse, or you have kids, or you're parenting the parents. Like life is going to happen regardless, and we need you to be able to plan to win despite life. With that, you have accountability, you have community that have the different experiences, we have different resources and connections, and we love to share a good connection. Like, if you good people, let me introduce you to my good people.
Right.
So that you don't have to do it alone, because entrepreneurship is hard and it's lonely. But you also have me there and others there to help you call this audible. Like, let's for real, look at real life. So you get the strategy sessions, the Plan to Win strategy sessions, which happen every quarter, which you guys have probably seen me post about. But basically, that comes with the Clarity Lab, or you can get it separately till you're ready.
So you do the coaching, the clarity coaching. They
The
get clear,
intensive,
then they do the lab.
The lab
So what
to
does
keep
the
maintaining.
lab look like?
It looks like the first week of every month, we come together, hot seat coaching. You bring your problems. Let's adjust. Let's tweak. Let's find you resources. Let's find you support. It's a mini intensive all over again. The first week of every month. Second and third week, because you need to get out there and do the thing. You can submit questions, emails, whatever. I respond every Tuesday and Thursday, so that you have that there and available, so you can keep the momentum and work up. And then the fourth week of every month, we do a co-working session. So you come and we work. This is like, I know I got to work because people are going to be here. If I got a question, I can ask either a peer, or you can ask me. we'll flush through it, we'll work through it so the work gets done. One of my biggest frustrations is going to a conference and then saying I'm gonna do all this stuff when I get back, and it takes months because there's really no implementation plan for me to like,
or accountability. Yeah,
because my life is already full, right? So this is your implementation plan to get it done and make sure you get it done. So like with the strategy sessions, which are part of the lab, we had Bree today. We did her book lunch.
Yeah.
She finished and published and had a book lunch today. She did her first strategy session in December. She did the last one in March, and here we are.
And she's
launched. It's on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. Like, you're out there. We had another girl. She came in with that, and she's like, "I need more clients. I need more clients." And he's like, "No. You need this number. Like, what do we have?" And we brainstormed, and she paid off her debt in 2 weeks.
Wow.
2 weeks. Like, so it's the thing that keeps the fire lit. It's the thing that keeps you moving. It's the thing that opens doors that you didn't know existed. You have more people to talk about you in rooms that you're not in. It helps keep the engine moving without you doing all the work, but you still do the work, right? So that's what that is. And that's how I like to guide people through, because it's less piecemealing. So we have this intensive, we get it all out. You get this implementation plan, you roll on over in, you get the support, and we
make it happen.
So
what does that timeline look like? Is it different for each person?
It is definitely different for each person because of the person, right? So those pieces that I was like, do you want me to tell the pieces that they come to me for, or the pieces that actually happen? Because purpose work and mission work is the hardest personal and professional development you'll ever do. And so I call it the rubber band method. It's gonna stretch you. And because when you stretch rubber band, it naturally wants to go back, right? Yeah. But the more you stretch it, we all know you got that favorite rubber band. The more you stretch it, the eventually it's just gonna stay like this.
Yeah.
And that is you. But our nervous system does not want us to stretch. It wants to keep us safe. And so it's like a battle of you versus you. Past you, current you, and future you are all in a war together. And you're still having to do the work. So that's one piece of the puzzle. And then it's also whether or not you come in without the intensive. And so, like we talked about earlier today, it's like most visionaries have the vision before it's time for the vision. Mm-hmm. And so you think you're just working on this, and then all of a sudden you remember this, and now you're trying to bring it in. When if we would have had the intensive, we would have connected all. Yeah. And instead of working in silos, you'll be working in synergy. So then you can talk to your graphic designer and say, I'll use me for example. We're having the team summit in fourth quarter. Can you go ahead and start working on these graphics so I can review them? I have multiple projects I want you to work on. Can you cut me a discount instead of me being like, oh crap, it's in the third quarter. I need graphics for fourth quarter. Can you do this? And you're busy. Right. But you're also working on the graphics for my website in third quarter that I need, or second quarter that I need for third quarter. So we have this continuous relationship because a lot of freelancers always want more business, consistent business. And if we work well together, you already know me. It just makes your job easier. You're right. So even for me as a strategic advisor in your business, because I stopped calling myself a coach, I'm that. And like I can't just coach you. I got to give you a plan. Right? We got to work on this. So the more I work with you, the more I know the hidden pieces, the more I can be like, what about this? We can include some risk mitigation. We can work on communications. When I'm scrolling and I randomly see something on Instagram, I'll be like, girl, look at this for you. Like you always sending me stuff, right? Because you know the person, right? So them coming in at different points, they're going to be at different levels. However, the timeline, if you give me a timeline, 9 times out of 10, we're keeping you to that timeline and or earlier, right? So like with the strategy sessions and the 2 examples with Bree and the other young lady I gave, Michaela, they finished sooner than they thought. Because for a lot of us, it's hard for us just to plan. Right. They wanted to plan and execute. I was like, y'all, this month is for planning. Because when January hit, it's gonna be go time.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 times out of 10, we fall off before March. And so this is what it is. And so that's how Bree got to this. Because honestly, we also overachieve. So half of the time it's like, no, I'm gonna do this in March. I was like, girl, no, you don't. Let's roll this on out. Let's talk. Let's be realistic, even though I don't like to. But yeah. So yeah, that's the timelines differ based on the person.
If you're working with someone, is there like a limit as far as like, say you're working with someone, you guys make the plan, but maybe they're moving not fast enough or not at the rate where they need to execute, and it's going from them taking a year to maybe 2 years or more, or do you even let it go that far? Like how does that work?
I'm going to hold a mirror to you for sure. But yeah, no, that's fine. I actually intentionally built it to be an ecosystem. So you can cycle back through how and when you need to, because as visionaries, the target's always moving. We always want to be better and do better. So we're always growing and elevating. And I wanted you to be able to come back into this ecosystem and cycle back through. So every level you go to, every level you want to take your business to, that's where we're going. Right. So I shared transparency moment. I've been working on my book for 4 years. Who knew the time was that long? But my book coach has been so gracious, and she invited me to a virtual writing retreat last weekend. And I popped in and it was amazing. Everything that I needed. And I set the date. I put it out here for the world to hear that this book will be done by the end of this quarter. So by June. And so because it is that rubber band and life is lifing and it's stretching and growing us personally. Because you know some of the behind the scenes, like it has been growing and stretching me personally. Right. Yeah, that grace is there. There is no I'm kicking you out if. And I want to just highlight the difference is like there are a lot of people that'll keep you paying that monthly membership fee, and they don't care if you show up. Right. I care if you show up. We want this vision to be birthed, but there is also grace and space for God and grace and space for your personal development and life.
So if someone wants to reach out to you to take advantage of your services, how do they do that?
Well, one, the links are in the show notes below. But two, JateyaJones.com. I respond. I'm a real person. So you can DM me on Instagram. Come genuine though. Because when I tell you I consider spam, I know they're just doing their job on LinkedIn. But when you, hi, I'm looking at your website and and half of the time the stuff that they looked at, girl, bye. So come genuinely, please, and I will respond. Because part of my God-given assignment is to help usher these new things into life. And so I get excited about it. It fills my cup. So I want to at all times. But yeah, so there is a link. It says book a call on the website. If you go to JateyaJones.com, in the top right-hand corner, you can click that, pick a date and a time, and I will show up excited to talk to you.
Love it. So is there any events or programs launching or anything that you have that's going to be coming up in the next couple quarters? Down the end of the year?
So definitely two. Okay. Clarity Lab is evergreen. The doors are always open, but there will be a launch. You'll see more of that information coming up soon. So you can just come on in. And then third quarter Plan to Win strategy session is popping off in June. We start the first Monday of every month, and we meet every single Monday in that month. Excuse me. And so those are the two things that are coming up. So if you just want to stick your pinky toe in, the Plan to Win strategy sessions are only $20.26. Okay. For you to show up every single Monday. And you get a taste of whatever. People are like, why are you doing this for $20.26?
Yes, because I had that exact question. I was like, friend, come on now.
Well, one, in this season, I felt like God was telling me to start small. Because I'm a go big or go home girl. And he was like, start small. And this is my season of obedience. So that's what we're doing. One is 2026 currently when we're talking. So right. $20.26. And two, I know for many of our people, we've wasted a lot of money working with service providers that weren't able to help us. I had people tell me I needed a website for every single thing. And I was like, no, I really don't. I know it connects. I know it goes together. It was like, no, you need one for the employeepreneur and one for you, and then one for corporate. No, 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 no. And so I've wasted tens of thousands of dollars over these umpteen years trying to get help. And now I know people who can and can't help me, but yeah, I've wasted a lot of money. And so because of that, you get to the point where it's like, do I really want to pay? Can she really help me?
Right.
Does she really get it? And so I want to give people basically a risk-free entry point to test it out.
Nice. I love that. Friend, I'm so happy for you. I'm loving all of the things that you're doing. It's great.
Let me say, well, one, thank you. Because I can't always think of the things that I need to talk about and want to talk about, right? And talking to people makes other things come up. And two, I'm excited about yours too.
Yes, it's coming.
I know, girl. Listen, I just be over here. I be excited until. But no, thank you. Y'all stand by. Y'all gonna see more of her. And that's it. That's all that I can think of.
Yeah, we definitely have to conversate again.
Yes, I enjoy this. I need people to interview me more often. This was fun. I didn't have to think. Well, I did, but well, thank you, you guys. We'll see you same time, same place next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye. If this confirmed what you've been feeling, stop putting it off. You already know what God told you to build. If you're ready to move in obedience, book a clarity call. The link is in the show notes. Until next time, you have the clarity, you have the call. Now it's time for the courage.